What's up, everybody? How we doing, folks? Welcome in. What's good? How are your weekends? How was your weekend? Share the best part. Boink, 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 boink. How we feeling, folks? How are we feeling? I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're doing good. I am sleepy. Who's surprised? Not me. Always a sleepy boy. That's the way it goes. I don't want to be. I don't want to be sleepy. I got plenty of rest. You would think plenty of rest boy would not be sleepy, but he is. He is. We got a fun day planned. Fun day. So exhausted you preached yesterday. Oh, that's so fun. That's awesome. Gotta love it. Love it. Was that also your highlight of the weekend? How was your weekend? Welcome in, Wizen. Congratulations to Trombone for snagging first. Got it. I'm looking at my peak levels here. It's so precise. I think we're good. It was the highlight, and your feet still hurt somehow, just from standing for the hour. I tell you, I went back and I preached at my dad's church not too long ago, and I tell you, streams, standing on stream has been a huge boon. I no longer get tired standing. I stand all day long, and it's really nice. Weekend was good. I was relaxing and watched a baseball game. Rock on. Gotta love some baseball. Baseball's my favorite sport to relax to. I have a weird foot thing too where I stand goofy. Do you run goofy? Because I run really goofy. I took soccer whenever I was 9 or 10 years old. And I ran for like the first time ever. And people made fun of me because of the way I ran. And so now I have a complex of like, I refuse to run because I'm so convinced that I run like a goon. And so now I don't. I'm duck-footed. I'm very duck-footed. And so whenever I would run out. My feet would run out. And I would run duck-footed. So first off, terrible for your knees. I needed someone with a mature personality to instruct me about how to run properly. But instead, I got a bunch of bullies not helping me. And ain't that just the way it goes, you know? Ain't that just the way it goes? But yeah, duck-footed. Duck-footed is my issue. I don't know about pigeon-toed. I don't know anybody that's pigeon-toed, and if they run funny. But oh boy, I ran very funny, and now I just don't. But I do walk. I do walk every day. Varus heel, so my heels tilt outward. Ooh, oh, that is. I can't imagine. It's not great. Do they have specialty shoes? Is there like a specific brand of Dr. Scholl's, a specific angle or something that could like level it out? That's fascinating. I always find stuff like that very interesting. Bodies are so weird, you know? The human body is very strange. Waiting on insurance to cover the inserts. Well, there you go. Folks, subscribe to the To The Point newsletter. You can click that link right there to thecheckpoint.com. Let you subscribe right there whenever you'd like. We have an article coming out on Wednesday talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie and why it was successful, written by our own Paraspectus. There's wonderful articles there written by all of our byline writers. We'd love for you to check them out. Bodies are so weird. Loki have a book on a back burner about that. Yeah. Bodies are amazingly, wonderfully weird. Love the body, but also the body is crap. My highlight of my weekend was probably going to see Suzume. I really enjoyed Suzume. It was a great movie. If you're on the fence about whether or not to see the latest Makoto Shinkai Premiere, I would say do it. If you liked his other stuff, I thought it was the best. In my humble opinion, my favorite of the three. All right, folks, we're gonna do Jeopardy once the timer goes. So eventually you'll see ads pop up on here, and once they do, we'll do Jeopardy. Cool? Cool, cool. And then after Jeopardy, I have officially taken a little bit of time to look at Fruity Loops and learned that actually we could have played with it next week because I really don't need a MIDI. MIDIs are somewhat helpful, but not really for what I want to do. So I learned Fruity Loops has all kinds of tools and tricks and tips and tricks and fun things. So I'm not too stressed about it. I think we're going to try and play with it regardless. It should be fun. Don't know why Twitter's doing that back there. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. Not quite sure what that's all about. Must have gotten disconnected or the password changed or something. All right, are the ads just not going to start? I swear we started at the normal time. But I know as soon as I start talking, as soon as I start reading off those Jeopardy prompts, you know what's going to happen is the ads. I thought maybe looking away would change it. It did not. All right, we're going to start it. So the way the Jeopardy works here on our stream is you just have to answer the question. You do not have to answer in the form of a question. You just answer the prompt, whatever you think it is. First answer that I see in the chat is the correct one. We do different points. Double Jeopardy means I just double the number up to a maximum of 2,000. Final Jeopardy means that we RNG the amount. So we're going to get right into it with our first Jeopardy prompt of today. Did that just say ads? I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. The second I started saying something, I was like, it's going to happen right then. And it did. I knew it was, and it did. And that's why. And that's why we don't even try. Ay, ay, ay. I was so confident, too. I was like, maybe they already happened, and I just didn't even see them. Or maybe they're not going to happen for a couple more minutes. Nope. They were waiting on me. Well, for our ad viewers, I'll let you know what we're going to be doing today is we're going to make some lo-fi music. I've had a vision for a while of lo-fi hymns. So I thought I would take some of my favorite hymns, convert them into lo-fi, and see if that might be something that works. So our first one is going to be today. We're going to play with one of my favorite hymns of all time, hymn 451 in the United Methodist hymnal, Be Thou My Vision, my favorite of all time. I love that hymn. So good. And I already have the chords, so that makes it nice and easy. We're going to try and at least come up with some pads and a cool rhythm. And if we're able to finish the whole song in an hour, that's amazing. I really don't imagine that's going to be the case, but at least we're going to get started in the hour and see where we go from there. So that's the plan for today. I guess you can let me know in the chat what your favorite hymn is. I'll ask that question whenever we get to working. But that should be the fun thing that we do. We'll do that for the first hour, then we'll take a break, stretch our legs, rest our eyes, and then we will play Pokemon White for the rest of the stream. Maybe we'll finish it today. No promises, but I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful that we'll finish it today. I think today could be it. Because I think all we have left is the Elite Four. I don't know the Pokemon White, like, everything about it has been so different, so I don't know. We'll find out. All right, the first Jeopardy prompt is... The category is catchphrases. Catchphrases for 600 points. The answer: despite the proverb, you can catch more fruit flies with this, especially the apple cider type, than honey. Despite the proverb, you can catch more fruit flies with this, especially the apple cider type, than with honey. Sneaky, it is vinegar. Congratulations. That was a tricky one. All right. Next category. Catchphrases for 1,000 points. The answer: according to song, if you do this, put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. According to song, if you do this, put it in your pocket and never let it fade away. It is not light. It is not a penny. According to this song, if you do this, put it in your pocket and never let it fade away. I can't believe y'all don't know this song. It's not Sunshine. That is correct, Sneaky. It is Catch a Falling Star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. Good job, Sneaky. All right, last question of the day is Double Jeopardy for 800 points. 800 points. The category is literary narrators. Literary narrators for 800 points. The answer: in this epilogue to Moby Dick, this rescued narrator quotes from the book of Job, "And I only am escaped alone to tell thee." In this epilogue of Moby Dick, the rescued narrator quotes from the book of Job, "And I only am escaped alone to tell thee." Odysseus was not, in fact. Nor was Morgan Freeman. Neither of them were in Moby Dick, it turns out. It was not that. I don't know what that is. Kakwe? Man, two that have stumped you guys. I'm very impressed with these Jeopardy questions. It is not Ahab. That is something. 10,000 Leagues Into the Sea. Yikes, folks. Nobody knows the narrator? There we go, Zando. It is Ishmael. The first three words. Call me Ishmael. All right, Zando, you got 800 points. Yeah. I can math. Okay. That leaves our leaderboard to be in third place. Let me make sure I'm still correct. In third place is Wizened Lemur with 9,800 points, almost to the 10K mark. Second place is Zando Calrissian with 16K 200 points. And in first place is Sneaky Pigs with 31,000 points. Chats in the clap for all our participants today. Thank you for playing along. Ain't nobody ever read. Ain't nobody read. I do. I read too much. Okay. So we are going to experiment with Fruity Loops today. For those of you that have never tried to play with Fruity Loops, welcome. We're going to learn together. I have also never really tried to play with Fruity Loops, so we're gonna experiment together and learn together and see if we can figure out how to make lo-fi music together. I don't know really anything about Fruity Loops. I've watched a quick tutorial or two, and I did watch in particular one about making lo-fi music because my vision for today is to start working on a lo-fi project that I've been wanting to work on for a while, in which I take popular hymns and turn them into lo-fi music. So we're gonna give it our best college try, but this is our plan for the next hour. So until 2 o'clock, we're gonna be working on music, and hopefully it should be a fun time. And if it's not a fun time at all, then let me know. But this is our way that we're celebrating Maker Monday. So this is our Maker Monday. And if you are at all a budding music producer, maybe you'll learn a thing or two along with me as we figure out how to use this program and some of the tips and tricks around it that I've learned already. First thing we got to do is we got to figure out our pattern. So the way that Fruity Loops works is you actually build these little patterns here. What's up, Perry? Thank you for the sub. Let me know how hard you want to spin that sub wheel, my friend. What is that symbol? I think that's supposed to be 20, but it absolutely got janked up in there. So the first thing we got to do is we got to check our plugins, and we're going to build a pattern. The kicks are certainly not going to work if they're 808s. I want something a little bit more hip hop, so we're going to see what we can find. as far as like drum pad stuff goes that are already hip hop. So we need a kick first and foremost. Let's see if we can find a hip hop kick. I thought it would surely play for me, but it is not. Now it's possible that it may be coming through the wrong speaker. Let's give it a shot and see if I can hear it. I'm going to need more volume for sure. I don't like that at all. Counterclockwise, 5 out of 10. All right, we'll keep the pattern. We'll keep the pattern not going. We'll pause it. Counterclockwise, 5 out of 10. Here we go. $80 all weekend and then snowing today. That doesn't compute. It is a gachapon, Perry. Let's get your gotcha going. Find out what's inside. It's a Dragon Ball. It's Grandpa Gohan. It's the 4-star Dragon Ball. Yay! We finally got Grandpa Gohan out of the brink. Oh, I figured that was coming. All right, let's turn back on Spoofy then. Let's turn back on Spoofy.
What's the letter of the day?
I had a feeling we were about to have a bunch of them coming. Okay. That's the one you got last time too? That's awesome. Okay, let's see. So we have a gachapon, a dad joke, another gachapon, and a movie game. Let's do it. First up, we got Zando's gachapon. Zando, your gachapon is a bonus Jeopardy question. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Trombone, your gachapon is a celeb reading poetry. Let me know what celeb you would like to hear, Trombone. Zando, in the meantime, Kronk, you got it. Your movie game, Zando, is a disfigured chandelier-dropping theater haunter is forced to give up his moon dreams after an onboard explosion turns their space mission into a return trip fight for survival. Okay, that's an easy one, but it's a long one. A disfigured chandelier-dropping theater haunter is forced to give up his moon dreams after the onboard explosion turns their space mission into a return trip fight for survival. You know what? Let's go ahead and do. No? Okay. Let's see. This is Zando's dad joke. Some of these are not even really dad jokes. Do you guys know how is a dog like a phone? How is a dog like a phone? It is Iggy Bugadoo. A dog is like a phone whenever it has caller ID. Oh. Thank you. Okay. Peaceful Piano. We'll be reading from, of course, Noor Unahar's New names for lost things. This is as presented by Kronk. This is several alternative terms to use instead of saying good father. As performed by Kronk, of course. A roof. A plane ticket to anywhere. 4 walls smiling at each other. A car driven at 80 miles an hour. Muffled prayers sent to my name. A cobalt-colored safety. Raw mangoes from a withering family house. Softness. Space. Thank you. Chats in the clap for Kronk. That's a little bit of a sad one from Kronk. A little bit of a sad one today. A little depressing, a little sad. It's not funny when they're sad, but we appreciate Kronk nonetheless. You totally know it. Hanks with a side of bacon is the hint. Hanks with a side of bacon. Or you can call it and we can turn it to the chat and see if anybody in chat wants to call it. It is Phantom of the Opera Apollo 13. Chats in the clap. Pulling it out in the home stretch, my dude. You managed. You managed. All right. Now it's time for our Jeopardy question of the day because you got a bonus Jeopardy as your first gachapon. This is a double Jeopardy worth the maximum amount of points. This is 2,000 points on the line. 2,000 points on the line. The category is geography. Geography for the maximum amount of points. The answer: along the Mediterranean, there's a French and an Italian this. Italian for coast. Along the Mediterranean, there is a French and an Italian this. Italian for coast. It is not rocks. Hey yo, Marin coming in from nowhere. It is a Riviera. Chats in the clap for returning chatter Marin. What's up? Now I gotta get the book back out and everything. Holy moly. It is the Riviera. Quite the slide onto the board. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. All right. Now we're going to get back into, if I can find the mouse. Ka-chow. Goodbye. Goodbye. Back to hopefully looking at kick drums. Let's try a different kick because I didn't like that one. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, let's remember number 3. No. No. It's not awful. Whoopsie. No, no, no. Didn't mean to do that. Ooh, I like 8 too. 8 and 3 are both my favorites so far. I think I'm going to go with 3. Let's hear 8 again. Hang on. Yeah, definitely 3. Okay. Now, I doubt we'll use a clap, but let's find a nice... Ooh, wait, they have a whole lo-fi thing? Well, I didn't know all that. Hang on. Maybe I'll change my mind. Ooh, that's really nice. I like that low end a lot. No, I keep doing that. No. That's not lo-fi at all. That's stanky, but that ain't lo-fi. I'm not gonna lie, I still think I like house number 3, hip hop number 3. I just really like that. Okay. All right. Now let's play with some claps. I doubt we'll use a clap. They might not even have a clap. We'll play with a crash instead. That's nice. No. No. I like 1. Okay. All right, now let's play with a hi-hat. Stop. I don't even need any more. That's perfect. Sorry, but what is a super fight? I've never seen that before. It is a new one. Will I do the robot with the lo-fi? Maybe. If it's the stanky one, maybe. Super fight is the game Super Fight. You never played that before, Xando? So the gist of Super Fight is that I don't actually know how we play it on stream, but basically we would come up with a area to fight, and then 2 fighters, and then we would try and argue who would win, and then the chat would get to vote on who won the argument. So it's basically arguing between two like heroes. Okay, let's find a snare next. Oh my goodness, if it does not stop doing that. Ooh, I kind of like 3. I kind of like 9 too. 12. Oh my goodness. I won't do it now, but soon. Definitely do it soon. Okay, so now we got to come up with a cool rhythm based off of Be Thou My Vision, which is going to be tricky enough, but we're going to try it nonetheless. So I know I saw them extend it, but I don't know how to do it now. Oh, like that. Okay, cool. But how do I... yes. Okay. I have a feeling that's going to be too much, but let's try it. What's up, Tattoo Lover? How we doing? I actually don't like that crash as much. I'm probably not going to do anything there. I think it's too long, which I know I'm the one that did it, but I think that I made it too long to play with. Remind me what software this is. This is Fruity Loop Studio, FL Studio. FL Studio. So really what I'm trying to do is just come up with a real basic looping pattern. How is RuneScape? Are you playing Classic? Okay, so now what I want to do with that is actually create it. So you can drag and drop it here on the thing, and at this point, got to figure out what else I want to do with it. So what I can't figure out is how he edited it. I just don't know enough. So I'm teaching myself as we go. Do you get free cereal when you get this software? I wish. That'd be a dream. A dream come true for sure. But unfortunately not. So I will show you guys what it does that's really cool as soon as I can figure out how to continue playing with this. And there's ways to make it unique. But I don't know how to do that. And we're going to learn. We're going to learn together. We're going to find out. Now if we go over to the song, it'll play what's over here, right? No, but good guess. I'm playing RuneScape 3. Very nice. So that's what we're doing over here, but now we got to figure out how. No, see, why does it keep deleting every time? How do I find other options? Let's see. That's paint, that's delete, that's mute, that's slip, that's slice, that's select. Let's try select. Nothing. That's zoom, that's playback. That's play pause. That's pattern. Maybe. Nope. Unhelpful. There should be a button here that says make unique, but I don't know where that is or where it would be or how to do it. But I know that it's an option. But I don't know how to do it. Make unique. So I may need to find that. What's up, Gum Gum Onigiri? Welcome in. I have like 4 minutes, so I wanted to pop in and say, hey, H-Man, welcome in. Hope your weekend was good. So I got to figure out where the make unique button is. Let's go to Legoog. Let's go to Legoog. Let's Legoog it. FL Studio make unique. Shortcut. On the top left drop-down list inside the audio clip. You can't just show me? Okay, right-click. Top left. Oh! In what mode? Oh! Okay. FL Studios, I remember producing days. Yeah, we're having fun. We're playing with it. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to, oopsie. I'm going to learn. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to learn, but I'm going to learn. I need to make that again. Probably better turn on the magnet, huh? Doesn't help. Well, Gum Gum Onigiri, you can always teach me some tips and tricks because I have never learned Fruity Loops before. I am learning it for the first time. I was an Audacity user for a long time. I was raised on Avid, and so this is all new for me. Okay, now we're going to make some chords. I don't know how to do this, but we're going to make some chords. We're going to learn how to make some chords real quick. So we're going to need a new pattern, which is somewhere. Is that new pattern? No, that's new channel. Where's new pattern? I want a new pattern. We're going to find it. There it is. Is that it? Yes. Okay, new pattern. And this is going to be just our pads, I guess. And we're going to find us a nice soft pad. Man, it's been a hot minute. Off topic, just took the survey, and I'm also a Curionaut. Oh yes, trombone. Over in our Discord, folks, you will find under Geek Out a section on crit rate, in which you can find out your gamer personality type. So do that. Let's just do. I don't know, dude. As if I have any idea. Okay, let's just hope this is right. And this is what I discovered that's super cool that I'm very excited about. Everybody's a Curionaut. So what I discovered is that you can do stamps and you can make chords. And that's just the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So you can pick any chord you want and create them in a stamp. So we're just for fun, we're gonna do a 6 add 9, and we're gonna do it's a D as starts the pad. So let's just do it. Is that a D? Maybe down on this octave. That's crazy. Right? That's wild. The fact that that's an option is wild. It's a little long. Especially since it's in 3/4. But I don't know how to change the time signature in this thing yet. So I'm figuring it out. So let's just force 3/4 for now. So it's going to be D and then to B minor. So can I stamp again? Still need that. We're going to do another add 9 just for kicks and giggles. And let's find ourselves a B minor. Which is going to be that right there, yeah? Or is that just a B? No! I don't like that at all. What is B? Is B... No, that's B flat. Okay. I'm guessing there's a stamp for it, so let's find a stamp, yeah? Minor. What minor options are there? Is it an M? Is M minor? Let's just do a basic minor. Would be interesting to compare them to the gamer motivational profile, indeed. Remember using Aeolian minor and major scale, making chords that way. It's so easy. Then it would be G. We're gonna do again. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that add 9 just for kicks and giggles because I'm having fun with it. And then it will go back to D. However, I need it to be longer. Thank you. I'm gonna have to do it in. I'm gonna have to do it in 4/4 though, unless I figure out how to change this bad boy to 3/4. So maybe I ought to pick a song that's maybe I ought to pick a song that's actually in the proper time signature. That might be nice. No. How can I edit just one chord at a time, one note at a time? Tools, snap, stamp, loop, draw, paint, delete, mute, slice, select, zoom, playback? No. Maybe. No! No, how do I do it? There's got to be a way. I want to change one note. Let's see. I may or may not have also wanted to start this kind of learning / making and downloaded free loops too. Haha. I don't know if you're on Windows, but control mouse. Oh, that is nice to know. Ooh, that's very nice to know. Thank you. I am on Windows. But I got to figure out how to do individual chords right now. Slide portamento. See if we can figure it out. Oh, see, I remember him hitting that third step thing, and I definitely never did that. So, whoopsie doopsie. Can we ungroup everything? We can. Nice. Nice. Yes! Oh, that's real nice. Oh, that's real nice. That sounds like Maroon 5, though, doesn't it? I hear you hurting, baby. I'm in need. You got me begging, please. That's straight up Maroon 5. Did Maroon 5 steal from the ancient Irish melody here? Maybe. Yes, please. That's hilarious. Okay, whoopsie. Don't do that. Let's see. Let's go back to select here, and we're definitely gonna have to make everything the proper links. I'm afraid it's gonna have to be 4/4. So that may mess up everything, but it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm afraid. Now then, how do I move them? The world may never know. There's got to be an easier way to group them. What's the button? Shift G. All these things shall be learnt. That 3/4 thing's gonna kill me, dude. There's got to be a way. I wonder if I should stop while I'm ahead. That is real nice, though. I wonder if there's a better piano setting here. Ooh, yeah! That's real nice. That's very nice. That's very nice. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of that sound. But again, what doesn't work about it is the fact that it's... That's very nice. It's very nice. I don't know why it's got an extra little bit of fun over there. I'm not quite sure what the deal is there. Why is it an extra bar? We don't really need the extra bar. That's very nice. That's very nice. I like that. Oopsie. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of all that's happening right there. But now we got to figure out how to have some fun with it. Time signature. Oh, fascinating. I've got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do and a lot of learning to do. The last notes were over 8 bars. See, the issue is that I'm making this harder on myself because I'm in the wrong time signature. And that's really going to mess everything up. Okay, well, we do need the melody here at some point. And I don't really know if we should keep that same piano, you know? I'm worried I'm not going to like the melody. See, I'm doing it by ear now, and that's all going to throw everything off whenever it goes into... It's all going to throw everything off. Whenever it's not in 3/4. Is B flat? B's flat. Good call. Where's the metronome? Let's try it. Where did it go? Is it not obviously marked? Surely. You would think it would be an obvious metronome, wouldn't it? It was not the tempo tapper, is it? Oh, no! Woof. Mm-mm. That's not bad. Back up to C, and then E flat. And up to the G, which is not flat. Control up arrow. Is that the same for the other way? Let's see. Yeah! Oh no! What have I done? What happened? Where did we go wrong? Oh man. Well, clearly I've done something very wrong. Yikes. Let's look at the pad again. All right. All right, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? D sharp. We started on D sharp here. And the D in here. So let's try this. I doubt it, but you know, maybe. No, thank you. I tried to select everything. See what happens if we just move it to D sharp. Yes. That's much better. Okay, well, the last note was a little off. So what went wrong there? Why is that note not right? Yeah. There's something missing. Something's not quite right. Let's see. Got a G and A sharp. Is there anything that shouldn't exist in here? A should be flat. B should be flat. E should be flat. Yeah, I mean, that's lining up correctly. Something else is wrong. I'm going, can't we just repeat? Oopsie. Oopsie. Where'd it go? Can't we just repeat this? Can we just repeat this? Oh, rats, they're grouped together. Oh, no! It was the F. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the D should go up there? Up an octave, that wouldn't be right. But I could take the G up here. Just to make it feel like it's still floating. Yeah. Okay. Let's try something else. Let's add a oh gosh, we're 7 minutes away. Are you kidding me? I told you this would go fast. I knew this would go fast. Let's add a little bass. Sorry, there's a bass instrument. It's like boo bass or something. I remember that's what it's called. Something like that. Man, what is it called? There it is. Easier way to do the octave thing for one note is to control left click and then the control up arrow thing. Oh boy. That doesn't sound easier, but I'll take your word for it. So let's see. What trying to refresh the notes. Where'd it go? Yeah, that's it, right? No, you're all good. I appreciate your help. I appreciate any assistance on trying to figure out how in the world this thing works is much appreciated. Honestly, I could just ride that the whole way, couldn't I? So what if I took the G? Was it G sharp? Was it G sharp? Well, I want to show me the notes anymore. I need the notes. No, it was straight up. It was straight up G. Let's just trust the pad. I wonder, can I clone the pad? That might almost be easier, huh? So let's delete that. Let's clone this. Drag it down. Let's just select some notes to have fun with here. Why is it doing this? Why does it look this way? Let's just pick a note. Whoops. I know I need to memorize these. Whoopsie. Okay. Now let's go back in this mode. Let's just try that. Let's try that. Let's see how that sounds. So how can I make sure that this is... See, I was afraid of that. I want that to use... Is there no way to copy that? Ay, ay, ay. All right. Hey, look, we're fine. We're fine. We're learning. This is all about learning. So it's just a D sharp to a G. D sharp to a G. So you said, hang on, octave thing is to control left click. Easy. Easy. That is easier. Boom, boom. I kind of like that. What would that walk up to? I keep going over. It's not awful. I wonder if there's let's just close it out with some rain. Let's close it out with some rain. If I can find some. Let's see. What would that be under? Where would I find sound effects? Because I know he showed me earlier. and I don't know where they are. What's this for again? Just a fun thing, or using it for something for CPC? A little column A, a little column B. Kind of just an opportunity to do a little Maker Monday. To make something for Maker Monday. I know there's something and I don't know where it is. It's bugging me. Last time I probably tried to produce in 2021. Glad to be a bit of a little help. Nice. Enjoy. Got to go work on my brain health or something. Therapy. So talk to you later. See ya. We'll play some Pokemon White here in a minute if I can find some rain. I know it's here. I know it's here. I saw the guy use it. I saw him. I saw him use it. Where? I guess when in doubt, go watch the YouTube video. Let's go find where he went. Okay.
Number 9, which is where the rest of the sounds are, and right click this arrow and now choose sidechain to this track. Track number 9 will maybe
I just want to know where the sounds are.
Somewhere in. See how it sounds.
Yes, hang on. There he is. Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Jungle.
Okay, he's downloaded a plugin. He's downloaded like Cashmere or something. Okay. Well, then never mind. I'll have to work on that later. But there you go. That's our first attempt at a little bit of music. It's basic, it's boring, but you know what? We did it in an hour. And it exists. It's something that did not exist, and now it does. So we're going to save as one does, and we're going to call it Be Thou My Vision, and we'll save it for now, and maybe we'll work on it again next week. Maybe I'll work on it in between then. But this was just a little bit of an experiment to try and figure out how Fruity Loops works, because I got no clue. I'm learning, and this is how we learn. We learn by learning. We learn by learning. Folks, we're going to take a quick 3-minute break, as we usually do to start these, or not start these streams, but to break these streams up into healthy practices. So I'm going to encourage you to go stretch your legs, rest your eyes, look away from your screen, go get a snack, whatever you got to do, take a quick break. Gum Gum, thank you for your help today. And we're going to be back in 3 minutes, and we're going to play Pokemon White for the rest of the stream. So those are our game plans, but got to take a little break to rest our eyes, rest our brains, and get away from the screen for just a minute. So I will see you all back here. 3 minutes. See you soon. Friend or foe? Friend or foe? Foe. Why are they always foes? Oh, perfect. It's not beans. It is a little slip of paper. What? What a way to end stream! What a way to end stream! Do you guys want to know what Zando just pulled? Zando, there's only one of these. Out of all of the things in the bucket, there's only one. It was total luck. My friend, you have just earned yourself the exclusive Discord role of Gotcha King. Wow! Chats in the clap for Zando, the Gotcha King. You officially have a new role, a title in our Discord of Gotcha King. Only one. Big stuff, the Gotcha King Zando. We'll implement your role here in the next little while, hopefully by tomorrow at the latest. And wow, what a way to end stream, yo! This is super exciting. Wow. So this would have been 2011. I was cast as Mr. Body in Clue. That was a lot of fun. It's a great show. The second time I had to die on stage in a show. Something about this face people just want to kill. People want to see this face die. I don't know what it is. Yeah, see, they're big old boys, huh? One hitters. One hitters. We're just fine with that. Oh, not one hitters, 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 not one hitters. They're not, in fact, one hitters. They are sometimes two. But it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that ring. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I just beat you in Fortnite, master of the mystic arts.
Victory is mine. Kayaba. Does make sense. But I did definitely forget. Oh my goodness! I am so far away from you! Stop targeting me. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Whoa, 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 whoa! That is a shiny! That is a shiny alpha! Are you kidding me right now? Please let me save! Please let me save! I need to save right now! Are you kidding me? That is a shiny alpha Vulpix! Neo! Oh! What is happening? That is so lucky! That is so incredibly lucky! Okay, that's fine. Whoa! Alright, alright. We got this. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. This is insane! I don't think you guys realize how big of a deal this is, but that is a double lucky. That is my first alpha shiny! Yes! Oh, that's very exciting! Wow. Wow! That is momentous! Alright, how much do I have to lose here? 990, I'm fine. Here goes everything and nothing all at once, huh? You say croissant in Quebec? Quebec? Oh, that's a tough one. If it is Quebec. Welcome back, welcome back. All right. Welcome, man. Humar Whip, thank you for the lurk and work. Things are going good. Things are going good. We're going to get into some Pokemon's White here in just a moment. Very excited for it. Very excited for some more Pokemon. Always excited for Pokemon. I really think we're not too far from the end of this one. But I really have no idea. It's really all a guess. But we're going to get right into it. Everybody say bye, Spoofy. Bye, Spoofy. Ooh, that's very loud. Ooh, that's so incredibly loud. How can it even be so loud? Okay, so as best as I recall, I think we just beat Dragon Lady. This is our squad, but I honestly don't remember where we're supposed to go next. So I guess let's just get right into it. I mean, I imagine it's the Elite Four. All signs are point to Elite Four. If I recall correctly, that was the last thing we were doing anyway. Taking down all these baddies. Well, there's clearly a secret up here. I clearly need to know more about the secret up there. It's still so incredibly loud. It's so incredibly loud. How can it be so loud? I swear, Pokemon White was just noisy. It's just a noisy game. Time to disrupt the stream. Well, we only just started this battle, so why not? Let's figure it out. All right, what did the actual button say? Did the button say anything whenever you clicked on it? 2 random super fights. Nerd Pastor Nate versus the one who redeemed the point reward. Chat votes on the winner. All right, that does imply that we need to have a chat. So hopefully there's chat available. So the rules of Super Fight. I feel like this music might be distracting. So we're going to turn to Spoofy. Spoofy's going to turn back up. Okay. Perfect tune for a battle. You're not wrong. So the way that traditional Super Fight is, it actually surprises me that you've never played Super Fight, Xando. The way it's traditionally played is there's like a big reveal, there's multiple cards, there's things that you do. But I think what would be more fun would be to just pick a random white card, which does have a character, and a random black card, which does have a feature, and argue between the two of us. So I'll randomly pick one out. Let's say I'll build 2. I'll put one in each hand, and you get to pick which one. So I've placed 2 random fighters. I do not know who they are. Uh-oh. Bye-bye, camera. Camera said, it's too warm in here. It's too warm. We'll be back soon. Back. Welcome back. All right, and then I'll put 2 random power-ups. I have one in my right hand, one in my left hand. I do not know what either one is. Xando, pick yours. I'll pick mine. Right hand is yours, correct? This is your hero and your power, correct. All right. Xando, you are fighting a nudist that throws spears. That is your fighter. A nudist that throws spears is your fighter. Versus my French bulldog that has hands instead of feet. So I have a Frenchie with 5 hands, or 5 hands. 4 hands, and your nudist throws spears. I mean, I have to say, I think that a dog versus a naked man was already a pretty unfair battle because dogs can be very vicious in a fight. And you throw in the fact that I got 4 hands. I mean, those I could hold up to 4 weapons. The bulldog could hold up to 4 weapons to defend itself, just assuming whatever's around. So you throw in the vicious teeth that a bulldog already has, and then you also draw in hands. I mean, I don't see how you could possibly. I don't see how you could possibly win. But good luck with your argument, Xando. We'll give you some time to write up your argument. Opposable thumbs, absolutely. I mean, they're hands. These are hands. It specifically said hands. Dogs can't resist catching sticks being thrown by humans. What is a spear if not a stick with a pointy end? You're not wrong. However, with these hands, I'm gonna have opposable thumbs. So I'm gonna be able to catch those spears with my dog-like reflexes. They're gonna be even more so because they're just gonna be able to reach up and grab those spears. And so I feel like you can try and throw for the bulldog to get distracted, but it's not gonna happen because I'm so good with these hands. I'm gonna be able to catch them immediately. I do want to know why your nudity is helping you in any factor here. I don't think it is. I think the nudist The nudist factor is really just the component. Have you met a Frenchie? I don't know if reflexes is what they're really known for. No shade. Listen, here's the thing. The reason that the French Bulldog is so inaccurate is because it doesn't have hands for feet. If it did, it would be drastically improved. If that dog is like any dog I've ever known, it's going to be very sensitive to pain. Fresh hands scraping against the concrete are going to have that dog afraid to move. I don't know. In Wise and Lemur's vein, the Frenchie is going to be so silly that the French Bulldog is not the smartest dog in the world that it might not even notice its pain. It might not even notice. We got to set some kind of timer. So we're gonna do how about 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes to see any further arguments. Any further claims. So I think this French, like, you imagine a French Bulldog already has the teeth to snarl, and then you give it hands. I mean, I don't see how you're going to get the dog off of you once the dog latches on, because it's going to have not only teeth, which notoriously very difficult to get the dog loose, and then it also has 4 hands to grab on with. I mean, that dog's not going anywhere. The nudity is a diversion tactic. Does the dog want the dangly bit, or does it catch the stick with its mouth? The one top of the scraped knuckles leads to an easy win for the nudie spears. I don't think so. I think the fact that this dog is not letting go, assuming that it will surely catch the spear. I just don't. I think that the dog has it's smaller, it's more agile. Yeah. I think those are the factors. Those are the best factors that I've got going for me with this French Bulldog. Is it's not ever going to let go between its teeth and 4 hands. It really is a matter of speed. It's a matter of who can get there first. And as long as the dog latches on, the spear will really be pretty pointless. Frenchies have short arms. What good are 4 hands without limbs to support the things you're saying it'll do? Grab one leg? No, it's going to leap into the air and grab onto the face like a what are they called? The xenomorph, dude. The xenomorph, the face suckers. That's what it's gonna do. Spears, I want you up close so I can keep stabbing. But if it's right on your face, you're gonna stab yourself. There's no way. Spears are a long range weapon. Spears up close, no way. Not happening. 9 seconds. Final word. My final word is gonna have to be the face sucker. I think the face sucker's got it. All right. Poll's going up. It'll be a quick one. Oh boy. New poll. Who wins? Zando, Nerd Pastor Nate. 1 minute on the clock. Get those votes in. No more arguing for ourselves. They just go right back in the bucket. Because they could be paired up with other baddies in the future. We don't need that timer anymore. Looks like we have about 30 seconds left on that timer. This is not good. Why is my camera just not having it today? It is just not participating. All right, maybe 5 seconds left on the timer. 3, 2, 1. Results are a unanimous Zando landslide. Look, we tried. We tried, folks. I tried to fight for the Frenchie. Nothing I could do. Nothing I could do against an actual weapon. All right. So there you go, Zando. That's Super Fight. Now you know. Now you know. That's how Super Fight will work. We'll probably put the timer on at the beginning, so you kind of helped us hash it out a little bit. What we'll probably end up doing is we'll do like a 3-minute timer, and people have the 3 minutes to make their argument. So I hope you thought that was fun. Uh-oh. Wasn't expecting that. But now you know. Now you know. The more you know. Ba-bum-bum-bum. Okay, well, at least throw is down. I might need a more pinpointed electric attack. Quickly fell down the super fight rabbit hole. I can't believe you never played that game, Zando. I do not have the anime expansions. I do have the Loot Crate expansion. I mean, I have not played Super Fight in, I don't know, 10 years? It's an old game. An oldie but a classic. But enjoy. Enjoy the world of Super Fight, Zando. Is that going to become a new redemption? It can only be redeemed once an hour, so that is... I'm making it a little bit tighter because it did take some time. Did take a little bit of time. Dude, the REs in this game are insane. The REs in this game are insane. And another double? Homie. Homie. You can't do this. That's just silly. I mean, I might have to start using some repels. Because the Aries are just insane. By the way, did all my Pokemon fans catch their Typhlosion this weekend? I hope you took some time out of your day to catch your Typhlosion. I did catch mine. Thanks for asking. Man, Throw is so stacked. Throw just survived Fly from a Pokemon 6 levels above it. Insanity. Also, if you missed our latest nerdy sermon over on our YouTube channel, !YouTube, to access that, it was on the Super Mario Brothers movie. Zando, I still haven't replied to your comment on our channel, but I need to do that. My wisecrack back at you was going to be, because you said something along the lines of, like, we're just going to pretend Mario's missing never happened, and I was going to respond something along the lines of, like, yep, just like Nintendo always has. Ba-doom. Got him. Got me good. Oh my goodness. I mean, I took 2 steps. 2 steps! Let me see you. 1, 2 step. I'm gonna repel. I just can't do it. No? There we are. No! No! You gotta be kidding. Not even worth my time. Fungus! Among Us! Did I see those $5 amiibo at GameStop? No, tell me more. Tell me the story. What's happening with $5 amiibo? What amiibo are they? Surely not new ones. The Metroid Dread 2-pack and the Loftwing and Zelda? Whoa, that's a real good deal. Those are not that old. How about that? Oh my goodness! Yeah, 25-30. I miss Metroid Dread. I really enjoyed my time with it. I thought about going back and playing it the other day, but I really need to just play through Fusion, and I need to play through the classics. The Loftwing works with Tears of the Kingdom, so I grabbed it. Rock on. Super excited! I keep hearing amazing things about the latest trailer, and I refuse to watch it. I don't want anything more spoiled. I just want to experience the story from this point on. I wanna be in the world. I wanna be where the Zeldas are. Advance Wars finally comes out on Friday. Does it really? I didn't even know it came out. I didn't even know it's finally coming out. I'm sure I would have talked about it on Twig, but I didn't realize it's coming out. Are you going to do an 8-hour launch day stream for Zelda? We'll see. What day is it coming out? Is it coming out on a Friday? If it comes out on a Friday, then probably yes. It really depends on the day of the week. But yeah, I'd be down. May 12th is a Friday. Well, there you go. Maybe so. Maybe so. I had a lot of fun doing that with Pokemon Scarlet. Oh, but you know what? Isn't the week before that? I think the week before that might be the Checkathon. God, stop it, camera! All right, we're giving camera just a little break, so you guys are gonna look at a black box for just a second, okay? We're gonna let camera take a little nap. Take a nap, Cammy Cam. It's clearly you're running a little hot today. Maybe I need to turn the air on. I don't think it's that hot in here. My wife will be at Duke next month for an intern training thing or something. I assume you'll be there to greet her. Oh, of course. Yeah, I was planning on being. I was gonna be her concierge the entire time she was here. Do you mean Duke University or Duke Hospital? Those are two very different things. I assume Duke University, Duke Seminary, as in. But I don't know. Could be the hospital. On some like what's it called? I can never remember what it's called. CLM? No, that's Certified Lay Ministry. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely down to play Zelda. And I'm definitely down to start it on stream. Honestly, if we finish up Pokemon White in time, maybe that'll just become our new Monday game. Thank you. Thank you for the stone. What was that, did you just say? Is that why you haven't evolved? Do you need a special stone to evolve? Oh, you're a Litwick. So does your next one need a Dusk Stone? Once you finally evolve, do I evolve you to your third form of the stone? It's very nice to know. Let's see if Camera's had enough of a nap. Come back to us. Join us in the real world, Camera. Hello. So I've been rewatching all of Attack on Titan. I think I mentioned that a couple streams ago. And I'm not going to lie, I've really been missing a game that's just like a mind-numbing background game. And I almost started shiny hunting again because I just needed something to fill in the hours. but I have yet to invest in a background game. I should have. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Because I really wanted to work on that Shiny Dex. I was enjoying my Shiny Dex experience, but I just had to move on to a different game. I've also kind of gotten burnt out on Yakuza 0. I really need Buish to come talk me into playing more Yakuza 0 because I'm just getting burnt out on it. It's just the longest game that's ever existed. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, holder of the Triel badge, challenge all that you face. Thanks. Thank you so much. Halt! The key to this, open this gate is the basic badge. Oh, holder of the basic badge. Oh man, there's at least 10 squares of grass here. I'll probably get in 107 fights on the way. Whatever will we do? All right, Bryce Cream. Please don't die on the very first turn, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my pal. Throws, throw-ins. I am very curious if anyone watched Creator Clash this weekend. I missed it, but I really wanted to watch it. I thought about it, but I just didn't know if it'd be worth $35 again. It was a lot of fun last time, but half the fun was watching it live, and I wasn't going to be able to watch it live this year, and so I wasn't sure if it would be as good a time. My boy AB lost, though, and that's very sad. But Aaron Hansen won, and that's incredibly exciting. I've never been into boxing. I've never been into UFC fighting. My brother liked UFC a lot. And I never got into any of it, but hoo boy. For some reason, whenever it's YouTubers fighting, I love it. I always found the path to the Elite Four a bit dramatic. What's up, homie? You don't have the Quake badge? Loser. Oh! Didn't know that was a thing we could do. I guess I just trusted myself there. Ha! Oh man. Who wants to do a puzzle right now, huh? The Legend Badge! Uh-oh. I just kind of went for it. I'm guessing this is the true blue plateau, huh? I'm telling you, I'm not ready. I'm not ready! I'm not ready for this cavalcade of baddies that are about to come out. I don't really have anybody to go against you. Let's just see if I do enough damage. Do you ever think about the lore of the Elite Four? Like, do they show up for work every day at 8 a.m. waiting for challengers? Are they based on booked appointments? We may never know. Don't ask me what makes my brain think of these things at 2:30 p.m. on a Monday. I mean, that is exactly the kind of question that I want to know, especially considering this game has kind of set ourselves up as like, what's his name? The redhead guy is just like cruising around, just chatting people up. And he's like hardly ever actually at the place. I guess with the ability to fly with your Pokemon immediately, you don't really need to be in the spot until they ask you to. I really like the lore that Scarlet and Violet built up, where they're like employees and they're also the ones that like administer the test. Like, what's her name? The coolest girl who just like did the test for you, and until you pass her test, you couldn't even go in to take her on. I liked that little bit of lore. And then Cynthia, obviously, like in Diamond, was micromanaging everything going on behind the scenes. Do I have anybody that can take on Zebstrika? I've got to teach Boaz some moves. I've got to teach him just one ground type move. Just one. I really need a ground type move somewhere in my squad. I have a whole squad, and nary a one of them have a ground type. It feels like we're nearly done. I don't know if the game keeps going past the Elite Four, but we're definitely not done with Team Plasma. So is that what continues on in the next game? Is that why there's a Black and White 2? Is because Team Plasma stuff is clearly not done, but everything else is done? I'm very excited to find out, because I don't understand. I've taken down N like a dozen times. I've fought everyone many, many times. I've beat all the gym leaders. I'm going to the Elite Four. Listen, you can slide down the cliffs here. Watch me. What? Ah! I'm so scared. Now you try it. That's a long way down. I can't do it. Okay, well, that was a nice little bit of world building, huh? I'm actually going to heal my friends, though. Okay, so now I can slide down here. I'm telling you, the random encounters in this game are wild. They've lost their mind. They've lost their mind with the random encounters in this game. Ah! 3 steps. Let me see you 1-3 step. It is kind of nice. I think this is the first time I've seen Heat more. That's kind of fun. Ooh, it's windy today. I just saw that. 10 miles an hour. That's wild. Oh, it's my little friend. Listen, buddy. Do I know anybody that learns surf? For real? Am I this far in the game without somebody that knows surf? Whatever. It can't be worth it. Ooh. We love a Durant. Favorite part is running away. hardly even noticed those were steps. We're gonna go ahead and do another repel. Please tell me we have a repel. Please tell me we have another repel. We have 9. It's fine. I will happily fight you. Woo. Stoutland, I don't really have the right person out for you right now, so I'm going to switch it over to Through. How would you rate your experience with White? I'm enjoying it. I think the story is real good. I like the Pokemon. It has been a bit of a grind. I definitely have not enjoyed the random encounters. I do not enjoy playing a Pokemon game broken up into 2 hours a week. That has probably been the least favorite part of it. I would much rather just power through it all in one fell swoop. It's a little slow. The actual like playing experience has been so well optimized by this point that haters of Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet need to back off, because it is amazing how they've sped up the game. They've made the game so much more playable. Like going back and playing through even the classics of like Fire Red and stuff like that, I love. I now almost exclusively play them on emulators on 2x speed. The games are just real slow. Scolipede, I really don't have anybody for you. I guess Boaz. So I guess if I had to rate it right now, it's probably an 8. Whereas I've given almost every Pokemon game ever made a 10 out of 10. So that really is a big insult. I haven't really connected with any of the characters except for N. Like Iris felt a little forced. I could tell they wanted me to really like Iris, but I never even figured out who she was or who the other characters were. The entirely original cast of Pokemon were pretty cool. Agreed. I think the monster set is great. I think the actual... You liked Pearl so much. The actual move sets, the playstyle's fine. I know you loved the Diamond Pearl generation. I liked Diamond Pearl. I wouldn't say I loved it. Those games were so tough for me to play. I hated the curve and the grind. I enjoyed the Diamond and Pearl mini games. The base and mining. That was definitely my favorite part of those. My favorite game is probably Emerald. But again, it's then you take that and you put it at 2x speed. I always got stuck early on because so many bug Pokemon, there were a lot. Are you psychic? You is. Let's see. Ever since you pointed out I can't not stare in awe as my beware just boogies across the bottom. He goes so fast! Out of nowhere! He just like stands still for a while, and then out of nowhere we'll just book it. But he's still as can be. Whoa! Run! Why? Why? What about them made them do that? Yikes. We're having a tough time. I don't have anybody for you, buddy. Maybe Ronan knows a ghost type move. It's like it's storing up the moves until some function breaks and just runs all the movement at once. Maybe. It feels intentional. Maybe it's not intentional. Maybe it's an accident. Oh my goodness, Behem! Stop! Calm down, bro. Calm down. Chill out. Let me touch, let me hit, let me do anything to you. No! I got distracted. I was clicking the A button too fast, too furious. Please don't one-hit me. Thank you. You didn't. Good job. Maybe I'll freeze you. No, but I did one-hit you. Good job, Bright Screen. Oh boy, that was tough. Heat more? I will be switching Pokemon's. Get out there, Boaz! I truly don't think anybody on my team has been more pointless than you, Crustle. You've truly been the one that has provided nothing. You've provided absolutely nothing. Another one? Against Lilligant? I really don't have anyone. I guess I'll try and freeze that grass. It's about the best bet I got at this point. I may be healing up at the Pokemon Center and coming back. I'm not gonna lie. Don't do that. You did it. I specifically asked you not to do it. So don't do that. And then you did. It's unkind. I really don't like my team very much. I will say that. That would certainly help things if I liked my team a little more. But I didn't really like any of the starters. Heading out for allergist appointment. Bye. See you, Trombone. Thanks for hanging out. Nope. All right, Moses. Let's see. Can you take down the Grass Dancer? Can you take down the Grass Dancer? My bet's on no. What did she just do? Because I liked the little ditty. And of course we did. And of course we did. Because why wouldn't we? I really just want to know if I'm going to do any damage to her at all. Why has this lady been so incredibly tough? Who is she? I mean, she's harder than the entire Elite Four combined. At this point. Please don't hurt yourself. Good job, you're no longer confused. Thank you for doing the right thing, Abba Moses. Yeah, I'd say she's a veteran. I'd say Tiffany ain't playing a single game. And that's what revives are for, right? Might as well revive the squad. Ooh, wait, you know what? Hang on. Find a ground type move. Other than dig. Literally anything other than dig, please. Bulldoze? Sure. I'd prefer Earthquake, but why not? Now we have an actually somewhat decent ground type move. Only somewhat. Not very, but a little bit. A little bit decent. All right, Ace Trainer Kathy. You got the monkey trio. I can't stand those monkeys. I honestly think they're the worst part of the game. They're my least favorite design. I don't like anything about them. If they were really trying to be this oopsie doopsie, if they were really trying to be this generation's Eevees, they totally dropped the ball. Talking about the cooking monkeys, I don't like them. I guess so. Don't like them one bit. Dropped the ball. Very uninspired. I just don't even like the designs. Whatever inspiration they did have, I didn't like. Our last one should be some Seer. All right, let's test out that new Bulldoze, boy. Bring it, Boaz. Let's hope for the best, my dude. Not your best. Not your best, Boaz. Not your best. Not worth it. Not worth it. But I guess I got a free full restore. Even though it definitely cost me more to heal up to get there. I loved whenever later games added in the repel feature that kept the repel going. So nice. Can I fall down those halls? No, that's like strength, right? Do I have a Pokemon that knows strength? I don't know if I have a Pokemon that knows strength. That might be an issue. Aw, it's my wife. I always love whenever I find a Logan in a video game. Dark type? Maybe? Hopefully? Dark Fairy, maybe? No. Definitely not Dark type. That's right, Fairy doesn't exist in this game, right? Oh no! When was Fairy a thing? Did Fairy become a thing in Sun and Moon? fine. All right, we'll take down the doctor. We'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll keep the stream going with some more PokeMondays White after that. Leovani? I never remember who this is. I think it's a grass type. I think I'm fine. I was right. Either a grass or a bug. Either way, I'm super effective. Nice. All right, and then we're gonna heal and take a break. Your strength is fathomless. Thank you. Blub, blub, blub. All right, folks, we're gonna take a quick break. Exclamation point break time in the chat. Boink. And get your eyes off of a screen for a second. Take a little break, take a little breath, take a walk, stretch your legs, sit down if you're standing up, grab a snack, whatever you got to do. Rest yourself a little bit, practice a little healthy habit, and we'll see you back here in 3 minutes. Friend or foe? Friend or foe? Foe. Why are they always foes? Oh, perfect. It's not beans. It is a little slip of paper. What? What a way to end stream! What a way to end stream! Do you guys want to know what Zando just pulled? Zando, there's only one of these. Out of all of the things in the bucket, there's only one. It was total luck. My friend, you have just earned yourself the exclusive Discord role of Gotcha King. Wow! Chats in the clap for Zando, the Gotcha King. You officially have a new role, a title in our Discord of Gotcha King. Only one. Big stuff, the Gotcha King Zando. We'll implement your role here in the next little while, hopefully by tomorrow at the latest. And wow, what a way to end stream, yo! This is super exciting. Wow. So this would have been 2011. I was cast as Mr. Body in Clue. That was a lot of fun. It's a great show. The second time I had to die on stage in a show. Something about this face people just want to kill. People want to see this face die. I don't know what it is. Yeah, see, they're big old boys, huh? One hitters. We're just fine with that. Oh, not one hitters. 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 They're not, in fact, one hitters. They are sometimes two. But it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that ring.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I just beat you in Fortnite, master of the mystic arts.
Victory is mine. Kayaba. Does make sense. But I did definitely forget. Oh my goodness! I am so far away from you! Stop targeting me. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Whoa, 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 whoa! That is a shiny! That is a shiny alpha! Are you kidding me right now? Please let me save! Please let me save! I need to save right now! Are you kidding me? That is a shiny alpha Vulpix! Neo! Oh! What is happening? That is so lucky! That is so incredibly lucky! Okay, that's fine. Whoa! Alright. We got this. Okay. Whoa. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. This is insane! I don't think you guys realize how big of a deal this is, but that is a double lucky. Welcome back. Hello. Alright. Back into it. Hopefully you got a chance to stretch your legs, got a chance to take a break, and we're back with our last hour of stream here. Folks will be back on again tomorrow with our Variety Tuesday stream. Really hope I have somebody that knows strength. Big yikes. Love the Alpha Vulpix clip. Oh, it was an amazing moment. It was an amazing moment. I was so excited. It was such a surprise. I miss that game hardcore. I meant to turn off my camera that whole time. I was gonna give it 3 minutes break. All right, okay, Google, set a 5-minute timer. Set a 5-minute timer. No, okay, Google, set a 5-minute timer. Thank you. All right, we're gonna give the camera a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back. I don't know why my cameras get so hot nowadays. It's so weird. It's like it's like everything was fine with my cameras, and then all of a sudden, it started getting really warm. It's driving me crazy. Oh, gee whiz, I don't know. How am I supposed to know which way to go? It's almost like this is some kind of puzzle. No! No! Oh, we're very close. We're very, very close to the top. I know I should be fighting all these baddies, but I'm kind of just ready to be done. Kind of just ready to get to the Elite Four. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I think I might be in a tight spot here. Did my repel wear off? Why am I fighting a Woobat right now? Yeah. All right, David, if that is your real name. For some reason, I thought he was a ghost inside of Gears. Wrong. Isn't ice strong against steel? I can't remember. Uh-oh. Good. Nice. Okay. I think I'm backwards. Oh, come on! I don't even get to find out. I literally don't even get to find out if I'd be super effective against him. That's some garbo. How is Clang so fast? Clang is faster than everyone. For Manatan. All right, Boaz. See how your bulldoze does against this baddie. My bets are, it's not very good. Those are my bets. Belly drum is in this game? I did not know belly drum was in black and white. No! What are the odds? Probably a one hit. Man! What are the odds he would be saved at 1 HP without a sturdy? That is absurd. Who's next? All right, my camera got a 5-minute break. See if that was enough. Oh, this game. Everybody left at 1 HP in this game. All the time. All the time. Can't even tell you how often that happens. Good job, Chuck. Good job, Chuck. I do not have enough. Not worth it. I've been here. I've definitely been. No! One step! One step! This game, I'm telling you, this game and its REs, they're the death of me. There has never been a Pokemon game with as bad REs as this one. Okay, so we're back here again. Definitely looked like she was blocking the way. I gotta teach somebody strength. Are you kidding me? Somebody's learning strength today! Ba-ba-ba-bum. Good chow. Am I gonna have to learn surf too? Who's gonna learn surf on this team? Nobody is. Please. Please do not tell me. Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me that I gotta learn surf. Don't even do it. Don't even do it, though. Don't even do it, though. Don't do it. Say it ain't so, bro. Well, I probably have to go back to buy more repels anyway, so. I went all the way over to that side and there was one way to fall down. Where's this thing? I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried. I think I've solved the puzzle. I gotta have surf. I don't want it. I don't want surf. I guess I forgot how nice it was to not have to have an HM carrier. There's nothing I can do here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to be throwing an RE at me because I've taken 2 steps! And 2 steps means RE. Leave me alone. I don't think I wound up taking this one. Let's try it. What are you? Maybe I don't have to learn surf after all. Maybe there's a chance. I just have to be out of repels and fight 10 million monsters. I'm telling you. My friend, I'm back. Took a nap until my mom woke me up in my room upstairs. Rock on, tattoo lover. How was your weekend? What'd you get into? What's new? Hopefully your nap was good. 2 steps! Dude! I cannot even. I cannot even with this game. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's fine. I'll fight trainers. I'll fight trainers. I'm just tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting REs. Gigalith. me get some candy. My daughter has a soccer game today. That's very fun and exciting. However, she doesn't normally have them in the evenings on a weeknight. We're having to change some things up. I think it'll just be me and her. Her mom and sister are going to hang back and stay separate. I can't get that one. A lot of cool weekend stuff. Went to my friend's tag sale. Got 12 DVDs for my PlayStation 2. They were $1 each. And Sunday saw a good friend. We had community night in my city. That's awesome. Rock on. Love it. Sounds like a fulfilling weekend. Electros. He might know a water move, and this might have been a bad call. Does anybody know if Pokemon White is still a thing? Pokemon Unite! I'm playing Pokemon White. Does anybody know if Pokemon Unite is still a thing? I low-key kind of miss it. I was afraid of that. But I was really hoping it wouldn't be the case. Not sure if it's still around. I know it's not been canceled because I would have covered it. But I don't know if it's still like, if it's dying, you know? Erased from existence, my memories are fabricated. It could be. I just miss it. I really enjoyed that game. I just don't have a place in my life for games of service. Electros is kind of a perfect life form. Part of the Mandela effect, could be. No one's ever even heard of Pokemon Unite. Come on. Grow up, Electros. No, it wasn't a Wii game. But there were a bunch of those random Pokemon games that came out that I never played. Did I play Chained Echoes? That has been on my list for quite a while. That and Tactics Ogre are two that are on my backlog. Currently, what's been bumped higher up my list than usual is Loop Hero, which just came to Game Pass. Where am I? The end! Yay! We did it! The Pokemon League. All right, please let me heal. Nice. We did it. With our weak as all get out team, we made it this far. with our absolutely pitiful, pathetic team. What's on this side? Nothing? They just made this whole big lineup for no reason? Why would they do such a thing? Okay. So let's see. Rodent's pretty weak. But there was still more to explore down there. So I feel like let's go explore the Indigo Plateau a little further. Victory Road, excuse me. So there's an item down there, but it's such a long way. Do you have the courage? Of course I do. Do you have the courage? Chicken. All right, and the grind begins! I need somebody stronger up front, first and foremost. I think the Mandela effect is real since back in 2004 I did 2 months of gymnastics summer class, and I was one of her close students and friends 2 weeks after she forgot who I was at her class 2 a week in the summer months for an hour a day. Thanks, Mandela effect. Oh, it's definitely real. I've never heard of one quite so personal. But I definitely think our brains play tricks on us. See how we're doing today. Right at 2 p.m. Not too far from 2 p.m. We could do better. Are you aware we are only 6.5 weeks away from Street Fighter 6? Xando, let me fully say from the bottom of my chest, I am unaware of that fact. I was so completely unaware. I'm so incredibly excited. Are you going to be incredibly disappointed if we don't play it on stream? Do we need to devote every hour of every day to it? The person I referred to was the teacher of my class. Yes, yes, yes. And the Mandela effect was on them. No, you know you're the only one who cares. No, some people definitely care. I am not one of those people, but some people absolutely do. Start my own fighting game channel in the Discord just to talk to myself? Do! Please. I think fighting games are the coolest. I just have no drive to play them. But I appreciate them for what they are. I appreciate that they exist, that they are a thing. Please just let it be a one-hit KO. Please. Please, please just let it be a one-hit KO. Why? Why is everyone in this game so weak? Throwing a lot of Durants at me. Chuck, in you go again, bud. You might die this time. You might just die this time because your health is really low. Cheers, Matt. Nope. The creepiest Mandela effect that happened to me was my dead pastor being alive on Earth. I remember when he passed away in 2019, then came back to life. When he came to our Kanisha Coffee Hangout Hour at church on Thursday morning, it was shocking. That is terrifying. I mean, I guess that's where the namesake comes from, right? Because everybody thought Nelson Mandela died in prison, and then he came back to life, you know? Again, I've just never heard of the ones happening so close to home. That would be very terrifying. I don't know if I've ever had a Mandela effect actually like happen to me in my vicinity. All the Mandela effects that I've ever experienced are like, you know, the Berenstain Bears or whatever. The ones that are way outside of pocket. This is the fighter guy. Ooh! You know, I don't know if I fought him. That might be some more XP to grind. Let's just see what happens. I don't think it's going to affect it very much because it's steel, but... Maybe it's steel bug? You're kidding. You're joking. Ooh. That's a good reason not to mess with him. He can really mess with me. Hi, hope you're having a nice day so far. Same to you, Alendris. Day's going good. Day is... Whoopsie! Okay, we're fighting. Whenever I'm lost, I meet a trainer. Of course we're gonna fight. Okay. Alendris, I actually thought of you the other day. They were on the Triple Click podcast talking about Subnautica. And your multitude of hours in Subnautica will make you forever the person that comes to mind when I think of that game. You know, it's interesting because a lot of New Agers call the Mandela effect collapsing timelines of other dimensions on Earth. And I guess anything's possible. I don't know if that's what I think's happening. Man! I really needed to not die. I needed that. So glad you remember me that way. Well, of course! As many hours as you've logged, you deserve that title. You deserve it. Man, why? Why do they have to take down my person that takes down fighters? All right, well, I guess let's see what happens, honestly. I still play too, adding even more hours. Cannot even imagine. Mad respect. What the heck? Let's try it. What have I got to lose? What have I got to lose? Dynamic punch! Haha! Missed me. Ooh! So close! Yeah, that adds up. Good news is Ronan can come in and swoop those points, baby! Uh-oh. Yeah! You go, Ronan! Yeah! Bringing home the bacon! Nice, dude. And we made it out alive? What? It's crazy. You're crazy, girl. Right, let's go heal. Maybe I'll look up the Pokemon League. Maybe we can take them on. I mean, who, you know, it's worth a shot. Let's look up Pokemon White League. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh, no. We are under-leveled. Okay. Yeah. We're not crazy underleveled though. We got about 5 levels to climb. That's not that bad. 5 levels to climb is not that bad. We can make quick work of this. Maybe. I mean, in all honesty, we got a ghost to start us. So psychic, no, psychic will not be able to clear that. Dark would be able to clear that. Do I have anybody that has a dark type move? Is it just Hurts? Nope. I know Hurts does. I mean, that's a little bit dramatic, I think. Let's save. Hang on. Nope. We're gonna save here. Oh no! What happened? Did I vanish for a second? So weird. It doesn't say that it was down. So bizarre. Let's try it. We'll just see what happens. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Is this Ghost Boy? It's Ghost Boy! Or Ghost Girl? Yeah, if it did the not like this, that's on my end. Eyes brimming with dark flame, this man rejected everything other than himself in order to bring about one singular justice. That's part of a novel I'm writing. I was inspired by the challenger who is just here. Somehow I got a little sad. Excuse me, you're a challenger, right? I'm the Elite Four's Ghost-type Pokemon user Chantal, and I shall be your opponent. Okay! Girl, I think. Still not sure. Great theme. Oh boy! No kidding? That's not okay. I mean, I guess Assurance is a pretty weak move, but I didn't know it was that weak. See how my other dark type move does. We might be grinding. Oh dear. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Because this is not even their strongest Pokemon. Whoops. So, I think I'm either going to need a stronger dark move. Because honestly, 5 levels difference isn't going to make that much difference. Pure ghost. We're shooting in the dark now, baby! We're shooting in the dark! Good job, Bryce. All right, next up should be the water one, which is great because my water one is dead. My water fighter is gone. That's just swell. Okay. Oh, I'm clicked on another screen. Oh, what? What? You're not who I thought you were going to send out next, but okay. Let's hope for the best here, Boaz. Shoot your shot, buddy. It wasn't optimistic. Oh, this team. Maybe we can get a second one in. Nope. Miss? No. Alright, Ronan. You at least got a ghost move, don't you? You got a hex. Not even a good ghost move. One shot. Ay, ay, ay! He's a fire type. Not very effective. Okay. Let's just end it. Let's just let sleeping dogs lie. I had a plan, but I was not expecting them to send out Chandelure. 150% not expecting them to send out Chandelure. Let's see, what are the other ones? Maybe we can grind on one of them. We got a dark. We got a psychic. We got a fighting. I mean, we could potentially grind on the fighting one. I don't even affect you? Yeah, we could grind on the fighting one. Alright. Go ahead and end it. Go ahead and end it. Go ahead and end it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do... Yes, I know. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go see if I have a better dark move in my TMs. We're going to teach that to either whoever will learn it. Shadow Ball might be a good call to teach to Ronan. Oh, I can do it multiple times? That's nice to know, too. Oh, well, easy peasy. I'm definitely going to be teaching that to, Definitely going to be teaching that to Abba-Moses. Absolutely. Really don't have many moves. All right. I got a little something better this time. Not much. Not much, but I have a little bit of improvement. Okay, we're gonna go for Marshall first this time. Is Moses in the front? Yeah, we're gonna go for Marshall first this time. See if we can't grind on some of these fighters. I hope this is Marshall. My name is Marshall. In order to master the the art of fighting, training under my mentor Alder. My mentor sees your potential as a trainer and is taking interest in you. It is my intention to test you, to take you to the limits of your strength. Yeah. All right, Marshall. Let's see if I can take you down, buddy boy. At the very least, we'll get some EXP from you. Yikes. Yes! Love it! Let's go! We love to see that! Don't even tell me that nonsense, bro. Ooh, that makes me so mad. This game has done that every single time, and I can't anymore. They can't keep getting away with it. Ah! I'm gonna lose my marbles. Consider my marbles lost. My marbles are gone, bro! Are you kidding me? How does everybody get to stay at 1 HP? Everyone! It's not fair! It's not fair that everybody gets to stay at 1 HP. I don't want a dad joke right now, Zando, but I'll read you one. Ugh. Got something in my eye. It's driving me crazy. I'm mad. I'm so mad I got something in my eye. What am I doing? Chuck. How does a penguin build a house, Zando? How does a penguin build a house? Do you know? You have any idea how a penguin might build a house? If one were to desire such a thing? That's correct. He glues it together. Wonderful job. He does, in fact. He glues it together. Wait, what now? Did I waste a turn? Are you joking? The 1 HP stuff always gets me. Always gets me. Frustrates me to no end. I don't really have anything. Do a little damage at least. That'll be that 1 HP right there. That was 1 HP he just lost. You owed me that HP. Makes me so mad. I'm still mad. I'm irate. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he can't move. Can he? No. He can't. Because of me. Because of something I did. Because I'm the one who wins. I'll take all y'all's XP. It's mine. It's my XP. I get it. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare one-hit me! Homie. Don't even think about it. And why wouldn't he? And why wouldn't he? Not gonna lie, Hurts is kind of bringing it. I wasn't expecting Hurts to bring it quite like this, but Hurts is kind of just bringing it. I mean, Hurts just kind of bringing it, man. That's fine, dude. That's fine. Hurts brought it home. Hurts absolutely brought it. Come on, Ronan. Literally one hit, bro. One hit's all you need. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Couldn't even give me that. Couldn't even give me that. Rude. Rude. All right, let's. Probably ought not to waste those. Weird. That did a lot of damage. Why? Why was there been so much damage to Boaz? Strange. That's a laughable amount of damage. That is hilarious. Fly, dude. They nerfed it so hard. I remember when Fly was the ultimate move. Fly was the greatest move you could hope for. See if we can crit, baby. Doubt it. I doubt it. Joking? Are you double joking? Why'd you miss? My camera got so mad. My camera got mad at that. My camera was like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know how that just happened. All right, come on. How is Conkeldurr faster than me? He's holding 2 giant stone pillars. How could he be faster than me? I'm a little tiny candle man. How could he be faster than me? I'm an itty bitty baby candle man. Doesn't make sense to me. I need a hero. I'm old enough for a hero to the morning and night. And he's gotta be strong, and he's gotta be good, and he gotta be dynamite. Goodbye. Okay. Well, we got at least one level from that, and that's, you know, that's something. There's something to that. I'm worried I may have to grind in between streams because this team is crazy weak. I mean, I don't think anybody helped. I don't think any of this team was strong enough for what we were just trying to do. So it's really going to take some time. It's really going to take some time to get them up to snuff. I do need to know what level will Ronan evolve at. Next level? No kidding. He would have just evolved if he hadn't died. He would have evolved twice if he hadn't died. And I have no rare candies. He should have evolved last level. But because he keeps dying. Okay, well let's go fight some, I guess. Let's go try and get Ronan to evolve. That's really funny. Why does it have to be Boldor? Send anyone else. Boldor is straight up 7 levels below me. Hit me once for 90 damage. This team is so scuffed. What is that? What is that tiny little rock? What is that itty little baby little bitty little rock doing? I ain't putting my bets too high. Ain't putting my bets too high. Ugh, how? How can he be so weak? How can he be so weak? They're driving me crazy. Just wanna know, how can they all be so pathetic? Okay. So we'll definitely have the Chandelier Pokemon here momentarily. I'm so tired of seeing that exact graphic. How are they always? They always. Smidge. Just the smidgenest, smallest bit of health. easy. Uno más. Uno más, mis amigos. Come on. Let's see it. I feel like I've seen you fight the same 3 Pokemon all day. Xando, that's so crazy you would say that because it's so true. It's so true. Because that's his game. I fought the same 3 Pokemon all day. I've gone up 10 levels and I'm still only taking them out in 2 hits. It still takes 2 hits for every single one of them. I'm 10 levels stronger. 2 hits. Ah! That's the one that makes sense at least. At least he has sturdy. He's the one that gets it. But all the others might as well have sturdy because they always have 1 HP left. Okay. No! That's fine. One more. That's fine. I'm okay. I'm definitely not stressed or angry. Oh boy, at least we'll get to see Litwick evolve. Unless there's some specific criteria that it like has to be at the day or something. In which case, I don't know. I guess I'll fling myself through a window. Oh, I guess I'll just fling myself out the window. All right, Ronan, buddy. No. Yes. Please, just evolve. All right, yeah. Ooh. Actually, that wouldn't surprise me if that's what they did with Pumpkaboo. All right. Okay. We did it. We did it. Can you even believe it? No! Isn't Pokemon fun? Isn't Pokemon fun? Couldn't get away. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Mercy. Have mercy. Okay. Whoo, boy. Well, this has been a lot of fun, folks. We definitely just got done with another hour and 50 minutes of Pokemon. And we are at the Elite Four. But I don't know how much longer it's going to take to beat them because I really got to do a lot of grinding. So we're definitely going to be doing some grinding here in the near future. Let's go find somebody to raid real fast. Who's live right now? Oopsie. Oh, Asia the Girl's live. Well, we should go raid Asia the Girl. I don't believe you're telling the truth about it being fun. I'm definitely... Uh-oh. Did Asia the Girl just end stream? I can't tell. Folks, we are Checkpoint Church. We are really a church. I'm Nerd Passionator. I'm really the pastor here of this community. We are really doing a church plant thing online. We are... Oh, wait. Ads are currently going. Hang on. The Elite Four are all level 48 except for their final Pokemon that is also level 50. Wink for Jesse. Thanks for the follow. We are actually just about to go raid out, however. Assuming that Asia's not about to wrap up stream. I'm trying to figure out if Asia's wrapping up stream right now. Okay, ads are almost over, so... we really need to wait for that anyway. No, I think Asia's still alive. Okay, we're gonna go raid Asia the Girl. After Asia went viral last week for Lo-Fi Girl content. So we're going to go raid over. Folks, we are Checkpoint Church, really a church, nerd pastor Nate, really the pastor of this community. We have 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there. Number 1, I believe that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. One community with you. Number 3, I believe that you, yes, you matter. You're a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it, folks. If you would do me a favor, we want to let Asia's community know that they all matter as well. So if you subscribe, then you can get that animated You Matter. Or if you just follow us, then you can get that regular You Matter. If you would go spam You Matter over in Asia the Girls chat to let them know that they do, in fact, matter. We do believe that, folks. If you want more out of Checkpoint Church, we're on Discord right now, !Discord. We will be on Twitch tomorrow for Variety Tuesday, same time, same place, 1 o'clock Eastern here on Twitch. And we're on YouTube every single Sunday with our nerdy sermons. I look forward to seeing you for some of that good stuff. And until then, go tell Asia the Girl that they matter, their community matters. And until next time, bye-bye! If I can find my mouse, where'd it go? Where did it go?